Hello guys, Chrane here. Today we're not gonna have a look at a new god. Today we're gonna talk about how I've played this game for 2 years now. I think on July the 17th I've been playing for exactly 2 years. Thanks to one of my friends actually, because when the game was released, or when the closed beta began accepting people like from around the world, they had this thing set up where if you bought gems, you got an invite to the beta. And my credit card, or like bank card as it's called here, whatever, I was like, let's see, 2 years ago I would have been 17, about to turn 18, so I didn't have a grown-up card. So my friend bought the gems for me and sent the registration code to my email so I could play the game. And that was just when Guan Yu was released for the first time. Like before he got his rework and remodel and everything. Like old Guan. That was some good times. And I think I first saw the game from a video from WoW Crendor actually. I will leave that link to that video in the description because it will actually show you in depth like how much the game has evolved, and that's like kind of important for this video, and I will show some screenshots of course. So what have I seen through my time playing Smite? Well, I've seen, when I started playing the game, Conquest was the only mode. So I've seen them add Arena and then change it like 2 times after that. I saw them add Domination and then remove it. I've seen them add Assault and then rework it. I've seen them add Jousts, like, and Siege now as well. So I've been here a while, and I'm still here, so they must be doing something right. And let's go back to that Conquest map. I take it people watching this video have also been playing for a long time, and I want to ask you guys, do you remember when the Conquest map had a jungle on the outer side of the lanes? Like on the far sides of the map? I kinda missed that. And at that time, the game also had a health buff in the jungle, and a yellow buff? Or something like that as well, for like, I can't even remember what that one was for. I know there was a black and white one for cooldown reduction. Maybe that was the one. Maybe there wasn't a yellow one. Maybe I'm thinking of the orange one. Oh well. So if I started playing when they just had added Guan Yu, how many gods were there in the game? Well, let's see. There were Odin, Kali, Ymir, Zeus, Anubis, Sun Wukong, the old one that's now known as Hunbats, Bastet, Hebo, Hades, Ra. That's 10. Hel, Vamana, Arachne, Agni, Aokwang, Sobek, Artemis, and then Guan Yu. That makes 18. There were 18 gods in the game, and now there's like 56 with Circuit. So I mean, that's a lot. Once again, I've been here a while. And I've had these periods when I've played the game a lot. But during those periods, I didn't really play Conquest that much. Though, of course, when there was only Conquest, I played a whole lot of Conquests. I usually mained, let's see, I played a lot of Guan Yu because I really love Guan Yu. He's been my main ever since I started playing the game. Except for now, because he's basically unplayable in most modes. So sad. I'm still waiting for that day when Guan gets that buff he deserves, like most of the warriors in the game. So I played a lot of Guan Yu. I also played a lot of Odin and a bit of Sun Wukong, now known as Hunbats. I played a lot of Ra and Hebo and Agni, though those were like the dudes that I played. So let's move on and talk about the evolution of the game. So I'll show you some different stages of the evolution of the game in screenshots while I kind of talk about how it has changed. I mean, they've changed main menus, god screens. I mean, the god screen was divided into so many subsections before, where you had to go into like one menu to look at all the gods in a listing, and then you could go into another menu and look at all the skins in one listing, and then you could click one god, and you'd be taken to a menu where you could click like details and read about them and all that stuff. They made the god menu, like not god selection, but the god menu, where you can just read about them and buy skins and have a look at them. They made that part of the game so much better. I love the way it works now, though I think the client can have some performance like fixes, because before a few patches ago, when you like clicked a god, the game like froze for a little while and then like unfroze and everything was fine. I don't think it does that anymore, but still they kinda, I feel like in some places the game still needs some performance updates, but that's neither here nor there, so let's move on. They've changed the loading screens, not that much, but like they made it look nicer, cleaned it up, and it still looks like basically most MOBAs does when they load into the game, like all the cards and all that stuff. I also remember the Manticore. At rest be your soul, Manticore. You are missed. If you don't know what the Manticore is, it's basically when you played practice. If you do it now, you'll face Raw, and he'll like try to stomp you, because he's a mean bird. But before, there was a Manticore, a lion thing, for those of you who don't know, with a scorpion tail and like wings and stuff. He was cool, and then they removed him, and people cried out and wanted him to be a playable character. He still isn't, but with the circuit patch that comes out today, the Manticore will be a ward you can buy, a ward skin you can buy. So that's cool, and they're also, if you have the beta icon for your profile, it's a picture of the Manticore. And I like how they basically turned a community-created meme into something they support in the game. That's kind of cool. Another big change would be the Minotaur turning into Titans. Early in the game, like early in the game's development, there was Minotaurs, and if the game, that would be a Conquest game, because that was the only mode then. If the Conquest game went on too long, the Minotaurs would like rush out of their bases and then face off in the middle and just fight to the death. That did not last. Like that implementation didn't last very long in the game. So they basically just made it so, oh no, the Minotaur will just attack you if you go close and attack it. It won't leave the base and go batshit crazy. That didn't work well. So a while later, they removed the Minotaurs and replaced him with two Titans, one of Order and one of Chaos. And I mean, I guess that was a good change, kinda, because for like people just starting out in Conquest, it made it easier for you to realize which lane was the long lane and which one was the short lane for your where the ADC should be and where the solo lane should be and all that stuff. Also, you could just look at the towers, but in some cases it's easier to just look at which Titan you have. So I was talking about modes earlier. As I said, when I started playing, Conquest was the only thing, and it had outer lanes, like on the far sides of the map. That was removed, those lanes. And they removed two buffs, the cooldown reduction and the health buff. Then they added Arena, and if you've played Smite, you know that Arena is a deathmatch, like with tickets and stuff. That hasn't changed very much. It's gone through some iterations of art, but that's about it. It's still the same thing. I kind of miss the daytime Arena, to be honest. I wish they would just alternate, like if you queue up for arena, you could get into the arena in either day or night. Just use the current arena and just swap between the two. I would really like that, because it gets kind of boring just playing at nighttime. But oh well. We'll move on to Domination. So Domination was this 3-lane-esque thing where you played in Egypt, and you had, as I said, 3 lanes. It was a very small map. You went up to one of these lanes, and there was a genie or sand guardian or something like that. I can't remember exactly what they were called. And you basically ran up to it, and when you defeated it, it turned to your side. And you had to like take control of 2 to like keep your points above the enemy team, because they only had 1, and vice versa, like that. So once again, it was a fight about tickets. And then they removed that mode, because it was the least played one in the entire game. And now it comes back now and again in, what's it called? Mode of the day. Yeah. Then they added Assault. And Assault is the Norse, all random, all mid mode, where you get 1 god, and you get to play as that god. Which was really, when they like added that and people had the god pack and hadn't played every god, it was confusing as hell. And I guess for new people playing it now, it's still confusing as hell if you have the god pack. So I guess a lot of people made like Smurf accounts where they only bought characters they liked and then played only Assault. I've had a few friends who did that. And not that long ago they added so you could, what's it called, trade gods with people in your team if both of you own the gods involved in the trade. And also they added so you could buy a reroll for your god once, using either favor or gems. So that's cool. So when it comes to Siege, I don't really know that much about it. I've played 4 games of it up to now. I've won 1 of them. And I'm really having a hard time with this mode. So I'm not really like the one you should ask about Siege, because I really have no experience with it. All I can tell you is that it's a map based on Mayan like mythology. So you run around in Brazil or something. I don't frickin' know. You don't run around in South America in a big forest. There are 2 lanes. There's a giant jungle, and there are siege minions or siege monsters you must escort over the map, and they'll help you destroy towers. It's kind of cool. I wish I knew more about it. The last mode is Joust. It's used as a 1v1, 3v3, practice, things like that. It's words, they're hard. It's the map where I record my introduction videos to different gods. And I mean, it's cool. It's basically like a, I don't know, the Middle Ages or the Dark Ages, like if you think about what's it called? A tourney where 2 knights ride toward each other with big lance and stuff and shield, and they like try to poke each other off the horses. I don't know what it's called in English. And that's basically what it looks like. And it still works as a normal, like, destroy the towers, destroy the phoenix, and then destroy the titan, and then win the game. It's one of those. So it's not that much to talk about. So, some other things that Hi-Rez has tried out over the years was cell shading. I remember not liking cell shading, and I think they've removed it now. So that was a thing. I mean, I wouldn't have had a problem if they would have kept it in as an option. I guess it could have been kind of cool with the art style like the updated art style that's in the game now. But I don't know. It's up to them. It's up to them. It's their game. Next thing that happened was the Hunbats and Sun Wukong situation, where Sun Wukong was this ugly ass little monkey that loved this other monkey he tossed and yelled like, "Go monkey, go," and then like throw it into the enemy and didn't give a shit. And he had a good voice, that one. The old Sun Wukong had a really great voice. So what they did was, if I remember correctly, one patch they like updated the Sun Wukong's look, and then they renamed him to Hunbats, the Mayan god. And then they like updated the way his abilities looked to the way Hunbat's abilities look now. They're basically the same abilities still, but they updated the FX on them and stuff. And then it took a while, and then Sun Wukong was added back in, looking like the Super Saiyan he's supposed to look like, the way he looks now in Smite. And it's rumored this will also happen to Ao Kuang and the Mayan or Aztec like dragon god. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce the name because I'm gonna screw it up so bad. But if you're watching this video relatively soon after it was released, you will know because a lot of people are talking about it. And if you see this a long time into the future, he may already be released. So there's that. So then they started, after like the Hunbats thing, they started reskinning a lot of old gods. Not changing that much in their kits, but like changing the roles of some of them, and like just updating their look. So the ones that got a reskin was Odin, Guan Yu, who went from magical to physical. Not sure Odin did. Hell got a reskin. Hebo got a reskin into Waterlord Ozai for some reason. Kali got a reskin. Agni got a reskin. Bastard got a reskin. And Hercules got a reskin, which basically no one likes because he has no emotions. He's so dead inside. I listened to the new... Speaking of Hercules, I listened to the new voice pack for the Grand Slam skin with the new voice and everything, and it just sounds...
Enemies incoming middle! Gank middle lane! No problem. Be careful right. I'll defend the Gold Fury. Retreat middle lane. I'll gank middle lane.
So bad. He sounds like a Smurf. It's weird. Let's just move on. So... where does that leave us exactly? So, what do I think of the game now? Well, I think they need to make that, like, change to the arena. Like, it switches between day and night. Like, possibly depending on when you join the queue. Or, like, it's just random. I'm fine with the way Assault works right now. I don't really have a problem with it. Joust, I don't really play that much. It's not that it's not fun, it's just that I like to play that one fully pre-made. So that leaves Siege and Conquest. Now, I rarely play Conquest. I haven't played Conquest since... oh, I don't know, man. I haven't played Conquest since Poseidon was released, I think. That's a long time ago. What I really want to do is I want to learn the meta for Conquest. And I want to get back into playing Conquest and getting better at Siege. Because I suck at Siege. I can only play Siege as like Chalk. And then like own a lane. That's all I know. But Conquest, I really want to get back into it. Because it was such a long time ago that I actually played it. I've only like entered it in practice mode to see the updates, the visual updates, and maybe record 1 or 2 videos in it. And that's it. And that's what I really want to focus on, getting back into it. So, if you actually watched the entirety of this video, I would like to say thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Because if you watched the entirety, either you're just curious on what you missed, or you like hearing of the good old days, so to speak. And, well, I don't know, man. I could do more stuff like this. I've been thinking about it. But I think this pretty much ends what I wanted to say about all this. So I would like to thank you so much for watching. Feel free to leave your favorite moments, like the favorite patch, the favorite month of your time playing Smite. Something like that. Feel free to tell me, because I'm interested. So, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you want to see more. I've been Chrane, and I'll see you later.